success. I'm Mark Cole, with me Carlton Kirby, as we go racing in the Styrian Alps.
Absolutely glorious. It's been a busy old schedule. 3 race weekends on the bounce, and for some of the drivers, well, duties elsewhere as well. It's a real power circuit, as you know. And indeed, it is the Callaway Competition Corvette Z09, Z06R GT3s that are dominating qualifying here. It is about power. Will the Porsches manage to come good on this one? And in fact, BMW is feeling very, very hobbled by what is a track of high speed, but very, very difficult to actually master.
Yeah, it's a small engine, the BMW, 4.4 litres. The others, one of these are carrying big V8s, and they've got the speed. If you're just joining us, just to remind you, if you're not familiar with the series, the ADAC GT Masters, this is the German GT3 Championship, which, as you can see now, is going outside Germany. This is Austria. We're ready to go racing. Carlton.
We are. It's Corvettes 1 and 2 sharing the front row. It's Alessi and Kelvitz who dominate here. It's about power, but the Mercedes of Polarized Racing in the hands of Gotts, having a fantastic start here into the first corner. Lots of rises and falls, and as you can see as well, the great temptation to use more than the track. They'll be coming down heavy on that. Oh, and we've got a prisoner already.
Yeah, that's the 19 car there. That's one of the BMWs out. That car is all sorts of trouble. That is Claudia Hürtgen, our championship leader, and she's been spun out the first corner. Now into Remus, highest point of the circuit. A great view of the Alps in the background there as the cars pile on the pressure, start to drop downhill now into Schloss Gold. And at the moment, it's still Diego Lacey from Andreas Wirth.
Yeah, super effort as well by Farnbacher Racing, and Mario Farnbacher himself has a big look up the inside as well for the lead, and on board here with the Kekele-Schwager GT Ford, the GT3, absolutely magnificent looking machine, and proved last time out as well that it's got the legs, and a circuit like this should suit it. It seems to be, although the leading brace right now just distancing the field as everyone sorts themselves out. Reasonably clean start.
Yeah, this is the second fastest circuit on the schedule. The fastest is Spa, and that is where the Ford won. It's just got that slipperiness and that V8 power, and of course it's V8 power up front at the moment. Farnbacher in second, having got past Andreas Wirth, then Kekele, and right behind them in the Dutch BMW is Simon Knapp.
Well, big loser right at the beginning was Gotts. Gotts and Funk had such a fantastic time at the Spa 24 hours, but their Mercedes is on the back foot at the moment, as just watch out for the 10 car revealing itself upon your screen, having their troubles. Big look, and indeed a near lunge as well from the Tonio powered by Havath Moto Porsche. It's Robert Renard who's trying to find a way through, but at the moment, best car out there looks to be in position 2, and it's Farnbacher Racing after a storming start. But just look at the way the Corvettes here just find the delivery. It is about power. Maybe Porsche can get something out of today.
Yeah, Porsche so quick here. They won both races last year, and this blue car in the hands of the same man. Young Mario Farnbacher took one of those 2 wins. The other was by Christian Engelhardt. So can they pull it off again? This would be their first win this year. But the big loser at the moment, Carlton, Claudia Hürtgen and her co-driver Dominik Baumann, Austrian. This is home track, and they are right at the back of the field and struggling.
Nightmare. Well, the 12 car, the DB Motorsport, in the hands of BMW, in the hands of Simon Knapp, coming under all kinds of pressure here. It's about the number 10 Mercedes. Max Gotts trying to make up ground, has a look up the inside, can't quite do it. Almost gets tagged as the door is slammed shut. Great work by him. Too much space being used beyond the racetrack at the moment. A lot of dust being kicked up. It's a habit here.
Oh yeah, and you have to respect track limits here. They come down through the forest section, then through Rindt Curve, turn 7, and then Red Bull Mobile, the final corner. Here we go through it now. You go wide here, then onto the start-finish straight. This is all brand new, by the way. Red Bull demolished the old A1 pits where the Grand Prix were and had to rebuild the whole lot. And next year the plan is they want to bring the Austrian Grand Prix back here in July.
Well, it'd be fantastic if it does. It's an amazing facility. Red Bull have done us plenty of favours as far as motorsport's concerned in the past, and it just goes on. And Jörg Eberhard having a big look, and that Well, looks anything but clever, I'm afraid. That's the Camaro, and what a shame that it's ended so quickly for them.
Yeah, this has got a flat rear tyre there, as you can see. It looks like suspension's been here. Let's just have a quick look at the start again. And Claudia Hertgen, who is starting on the 5th row, she's the championship leader. She's on the outside in that black BMW. Let's see what happens. Bang!
Oh, that's the reason.
Yeah,
there we go.
She spun out, and that is by one of the Lamborghinis. That's a local Lamborghini, one of the Grasser cars. Here we go again.
What a perfect view of it as well. I'm not sure whether Lamborghini had issues as well and was tagged by one of the BMWs on its inside. So maybe not entirely to blame, but yeah, the attrition rate then higher than we'd perhaps thought. We've lost the Camaro, BMW as well. Looks like it's got certain issues after that little punt, as you can see. Some fantastic onboard footage here.
Yeah.
Look at this.
This is a typical first corner at the A1 ring. Sorry, the Red Bull ring. Must remember to call it that now. There's always someone's claim there, and I'm sure in race 2 exactly the same's going to happen. Just to remind you, this is a 1-hour race, so is tomorrow's, and we've got more problems there. That is where Albert Turn Taxis went off in that Camaro, banging into the guardrail, coming out of Castrol Turn on the first lap. This is into Remus. Look at this. They're really fighting for position there. Let's go on board with Mario Farnbacher as he takes position from Andreas Wirth. Watch this.
Well, it was an absolute rocket launch start by him. A quick look back as well at that spinning car, unfortunately. Lady Luck does not join us on this circuit, that's for sure. And Farnbacher on board with him right now. You can see the speeds that they're carrying. And you know what, Mark? When Formula One does come here, it's going to be a joy, or comes back here, it's going to be a joy to see it. There's the green machine.
Yeah, that's the 47 car. It's got the safety car called out because of that. The 47 car then of Paul Green. It might be called Paul Green. He is a German driver. He was involved with Albert von Turn Taxis in that Camaro. Albert, of course, German prince, and his family, Paulaner beer. If you've ever enjoyed a Paulaner, think of him.
Yeah, exactly. Why it's not called Turn Taxis, I do not know. But yeah, Paulaner is probably easier to say. Farnbacher on board with him then as we get ready to go racing once again. Safety car is gone, and we've gone green, all in line, nice and handsome as they come to the first rise. It really is a mountainous course. You don't realise it, Mark, when you just look at the track map, but it is there's huge rises and falls, and great entertainment from the crowd to fill these grandstands.
Yeah, and these cars obviously so much on the point. These cars all equalised by balance of performance, and as we heard at the start of the show, top 9 cars on the grid covered just by 1 second. So look at this, Mario Farnbacher, still only 21 years old. He's still a student, but he's racing for his dad's team. His brother Dominic is racing in America this weekend. We'll tell you more about that, because the same day as this they are racing at Road America. But look at this, great racing, and Porsche looking very strong, having a look down the inside of Diego Alessi.
Strong and lively, and you'd expect nothing else from a name like Farnbacher. Thing is, this weekend Porsche have got the power. Can they deliver? The team that's in front of them at the moment is the Corvette, and it's in the hands of Alessi, and he's doing a fantastic job. He's screaming away. That pairing, incidentally, of Alessi and Kajovitz, champions in 2010, and it's nice for them to re-experience the invigoration of leading a train such as this. They're not a cork in the bottle. They're so closely matched, the vehicles here.
Yep, here we go through the forest section again, out of that Rindt curve into Red Bull Mobile curve, and over the start-finish line. Now you've got this long climb uphill. Porsche tucked right underneath the tail of the Corvette. Can he do anything about it? I don't think so. The Corvette has that little bit of extra power.
Yeah, and enjoying life out front. The GT40 also starting to make a nuisance of itself. Clearly the flattest vehicle out there. I'm not saying it's suffering any flat spots at all. It's looking absolutely magnificent. A tremendous amount of pressure from the 12 car, the DB Motorsports BMW. Knapp and Den Boer clearly as well having a more than a decent run here. BMW, they perhaps surprised themselves by just how competitive they're racing. But it is the power cars that are out in front at the moment, and it's Vette and Porsche that are holding station, and indeed just starting to pull away and form just a modest gap here, around about 3 car lengths.
What a great mixing. Corvette, Porsche, Corvette, 4 BMW, and then the Mercedes tucked in right behind there, and then right behind him, René Rast in the Prosperia Abt Racing, the Audi team run by the bad boy of the DTM, Christian Abt. And here we are looking at that wonderful Ford GT. Isn't it great?
Absolutely ageless. just seems to be a classic in whatever decade it cares to run in. It's come back and it looks almost more modern than some of the other vehicles, such as the Audis. But there you go. Polar Vice Racing, Maximilian Götz in that Mercedes. They're carrying a lot of respect, I suppose, after taking or being involved, that pairing, in the Spa 24 Hours. And their tails are up, most certainly, and they're making that Mercedes absolutely sing round here. It's good qualifying by them, and you can see how competitive they are. Well, look at that, nose to tail, quite literally.
Yeah, absolutely spot on, and they're not carrying any success ballast yet. That hasn't yet been applied, despite only racing last weekend. And it's Maxi Götz on board with, as you said, 27 years old. His teammate Max Buch will be taking over, and at 20 years old, Max Buch is the youngest driver here by just 22 days.
There we are. Now, don't forget, when the pit window does open, it's limited. It's timed, of course. We reckon it'll extend over around about 6 laps this time by, and they only have 70 seconds, or they must complete in at least 70 seconds. It's getting it as close to that mark as you possibly can. You must not come in under it, must you?
Yeah, luckily that safety car only interrupted the race for 1 lap, so everything's pretty much on schedule. So, as you say, it's ticking down now. 35 minutes is when the pits will open, 25 minutes on that clock is when they will close, and if you don't stop during that window, you'll get a 30-second penalty. And if you come out of the pits in less than 70 seconds, having entered, you'll also get a penalty.
There we are. Huge sail by the Mies and Ras machine, carrying a lot of weight here. Mark, let's talk about ballast. I know you've alluded to it. 40 kilograms for Mies and Rast has translated into a very, very difficult job as far as qualifying is concerned, and indeed the race as well.
Yep, 2 wins already this year, but they've got this success ballast loaded up. They also get a bit more because they're both gold drivers. That means they're top of the tree. Not quite professional, but you have gold, silver and bronze. That all adds up. And look at Farnbacher here, just dropping back slightly now. He knew this was going to happen. He knew if he got tucked between the Corvettes, he'd have to sit there. He was going to have a big problem getting by them. He's got probably a better handling car. He's better braking, but he hasn't got that power, the oomph of those 7-litre Corvettes.
Yeah, it's on the escape from the corners, and there's far too few of them on this track for a lot of drivers liking, especially if you happen to be on board a BMW. Big look here by the Porsche. Gets alongside. Can they deliver? Fantastic battle raging on, and the 8 car just ceding that position very briefly. That is the Mies and Rast 27 machine as well, the Audi R8 that we were talking about, that's carrying all that ballast. They're desperate to get by, but well, in the hands of masters such as Mies and Rast, even with the weight, they can make that car work.
Yep, they can indeed. Look at that, having a really good race at the moment, but they've got Robert Renard right on the tail in that number 8 Porsche. That's the Herbert Motorsport car. And he'll be handing that car over to Martin Ragginger, the Porsche factory junior, who's back from Asia. Last weekend, while we were at the Nürburgring, he was in Korea, winning the penultimate round of the Porsche Asia Carrera Cup, and he is in a good position to win that at the final round. But here he is back at work. He will be when he takes over this car, this yellow, white and black Porsche, which Robert Renard's just put inside the Audi. Great move there. Can he do it? Not quite. Oh, it's so tight.
Goodness me, you'd have to work very hard to get the better of Mies and Rast on board that car, but working hard is what they are absolutely doing. The MS Racing number 1 Audi battling its way through, swapping a little bit of paint. I've got to say as well, one of the biggest risers here, starting in 14th on the grid, the number 4 car, give it a lot of credit, Engelhardt and Amindo. One with Nick Tandy did Engelhardt, of course, back in 2012, but yeah, they are on the march and just slowly but surely picking their way through the field. It is a difficult task, Mark, to move up here, and very difficult as well to get a clean lap, even when you're in qualifying. Drivers were saying that out of 10 laps here, getting it right once would be considered a result.
Yeah, they all say the track seems to move every time they drive it. It is a sort of shape-shifting circuit. It's always been that way. When it was the A1 ring, it's now the Red Bull ring, as we said, and I've been here several times for the Grand Prix. Grand Prix drivers just love it. They love the scoops and curves, and it's very high speed. most of these corners, if you get them right, get them all hooked up, it's very satisfying. But as Carlton just told us, you perhaps only get that once or twice every 10 laps.
Yeah, exactly. It's part of the allure of the place. It's what's drawn Red Bull, and of course there's considerable funding to this place, and they've made a fantastic job of providing a fantastic facility, and it draws out racing such as this fantastic little interchange. Oh dear.
Well, that's
get sand kicked in your face, why not?
Yeah, that was Gottfried Grasser, by the way, in one of the two GRT Grasser racing team Lamborghinis. That's they're a local team, very local. All the drivers come from about a 5-kilometre radius of here. This is Spielberg here in this part of Steiermark, which is the Austrian mountains, and those cars just having this one-off race on their home track in the ADAC GT Masters.
Well, we just caught sight of the 28 car, the Abt Racing Audi R8, and with the likes of Christer Jons and of course Marcus Finkenlock, you'd probably expected more from them. Not been a good year, but of course at the Nürburgring they did a decent job finishing runners-up on the opening race, and so hoping to carry that here, but it hasn't really worked out for them, unfortunately. The 28 car only qualifying leading off row 8 and struggling at the moment and under a lot of pressure.
Yep, so that Porsche still looking to try and get past the Mice Audi there. There's Christian Abt in the pits watching progress, and I think he can be quite pleased at the moment. As you've mentioned, they're carrying quite a bit of ballast, and that car is running a good race at the moment. They're in 4th place at the moment, 5th place.
Well, I've got to say as well, the 28 car is starting to make inroads, but they kind of hung around about that position, and changes not aplenty, at least at the nose of this race as we speak. And in fact, it seems that the top 8 positions are almost locked out as we speak, I'm afraid. We'll see what happens during the pit stops, which are going to be even more magnified in terms of importance, Mike.
Yeah, and just 8 minutes away now before that pit window opens. Who is going to blink first? That's the whole point. Again, Mario Farnbacher just dropping back a little bit. He can't quite catch up. Now, I mentioned Dominic Farnbacher, his brother. He was racing last weekend at Road America. Well, in fact, it's this weekend. He's at Road America in the ALMS, and he and Mark Hossens had their first win in the new Viper squad, the SRT Vipers, which thrilled everyone at Le Mans this year. And I think a lot of us who are at Le Mans reckon it's one of the best cars in the race. That team, brand new team, they've just had their first win. So well done, Dominic Farnbacher.
Lovely move there up the inside by the Mercedes, and in fact talk about making that position your own, using all of the track and just getting that power drift out. Didn't do them any good because the Audi managed to pick up just a little bit of traction wide off. I'm just wondering, Mark, whether the marshals here are going to have a word to say about race directors, about track limits, because we talk about it a lot, but we've seen a lot of dust here, and there are penalties for it, and they're quite handy about it.
Yeah, the rule is you can get 2 wheels off over the white, but you cannot get 4 wheels off, which is what we see time and time again. Yeah, and let's see if there's going to be any penalties coming out of that. If we see anyone taking all 4 wheels off, you're allowed to do it once, you do it another time, and you will be given a warning flag, and that you do it once more, you will get that 30-second penalty. They're very strict here.
Yeah, underneath the light void once again, climbing high as they do up towards Castrol, taking that almost flat-out right-hander, and then that amazingly long 4.33 kilometres heading for Remus, the highest point of the circuit, and then it's downhill towards Schlossgold, and then you have all that shenanigans around Rausch before you get to the woodland section and start to head back to the start-finish straight. You know, that GT40, I get very worried about it because it's such a beautiful car. I don't want to see anything go wrong with it.
Well, the front end almost washed out here. This is one of the good overtaking points on the circuit, Schlossgold, where they drop down into this almost hairpin. It's not quite a full 180 degrees, about 150 degrees of anything, but a great overtaking point. And that car, remember that Ford, that's white car we're looking at now, that is also carrying 40 kilos of success ballast, so he's got the same problem the race leader and the third place cars have, as he tries to get his nose up right under that Corvette. Everyone kicking up the dirt. Replay then.
Yeah, this is what I was having a look at. It's sharp intake of breath at this moment, and they all got away with it, thank goodness. Well, it seems that all the contact incidents have happened earlier on, and things have just settled down ever so slightly here. Just over 40 minutes to go, so around about a third of the way through this race, and we will have the pits opening fairly shortly. We've had the 18 car, incidentally, into the pits with a gearbox issue. That went out on lap 5, I'm afraid, the Callaway Competition Corvette.
Yeah, that's Tony Seiler, who of course had the double win last weekend in the Gentleman's Trophy at the Nürburgring. So Tony,
this time.
Tony, who's Swiss, familiar to mountainous territory like this, unfortunately won't be going any further today.
No, it's a real shame, but when it comes down to the mechanics, there's nothing that can be done by the drivers.
How tight is this, Carlton? Yeah, it's too tight to call at the moment. You've got 5-6 cars all there. Oh,
hello.
Is that Dimber?
Well, that's very high wide, but not so handsome, I'm afraid.
I think it's one of the... It's the
Pixim team shoot at BMW.
The second car, the number 20.
Sander Ritter and Jörg Müller. Just seeing who is on board with it.
Yeah, Max Sandritter at the moment. Yeah, that's the sister car. And I thought just for a moment that was one of our top 5 going out, but no. Here we are, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, all in the same picture. 6 coming into it, 7 and 8 in the background as they come swooping through Rausch and Wirth corners. Wirth corner here, and very, very satisfying if you can get these 2 corners hooked up. It's almost like one corner of a double apex.
Just looking at the lap times, Mark, there's not a great deal of distance between the pros and the gents here. It's almost like it may well be a difficult circuit to master for everybody. Maybe that's a levelling of the playing fields between the gentlemen drivers and indeed the pros.
Oh yeah, I mean, you've got drivers like Tony Seiler, who the Swiss man we're just talking about. He's a gentleman driver, but he's had 2 outright wins during his career here, not to mention 14, I think it is, gentleman wins. Isn't it time they pushed him up, made him a pro?
I think so. You've got to get him to quit his day job. Maybe he absolutely loves it. 38 minutes or so remaining, and that pit window is starting to beckon. Just checking a little bit earlier on, there is the GT40. Just can't get by the Corvettes, and that Porsche, to be honest, is doing a fantastic job in second place here, the Farnbacher racing machine. Mario Farnbacher will be handing over to Philip Fromvila at the pit stop. He's doing a superb job at the moment.
So we're having a whole lap on board the Ford in the smaller window we're watching, and a great view there from Frank Kettler's passenger seat, still trying to get underneath that Corvette. He's just doing all he can to get past Andreas Wirth. Wirth has had only 1/7 place this season, and compared with that, this Ford's had that win at Spa, so he's just desperate to get by, and he may have to save it for the pit stops because Wirth is not giving him any room at all.
Absolutely not. I think he might have to do a rain dance as well. They won at Spa in the wet, and it clearly suited them. Power levels, well, almost matched, as you can see. What is a surprise was how well the BMWs went at the beginning, but it is now starting to take a toll, this circuit, and it's not a happy place for the likes of Claudia Hürtgen and Dominic Baumann, I'm afraid.
Nope.
The 19 car with its issues.
It's in 21st place at the moment after being spun out early on. We've still got 23 cars running. Claudia doing all she can to haul herself up the order before she hands that car over to her young Austrian co-driver.
And as if by magic, we pick up with the black BMW. It almost looks like a stealth car. I do like the look of it. 36 minutes or so remaining, just under 37 in fact. We'll take a break just before the pit window opens here. Welcome back. We've had a few early visits to the pits, unfortunately, including the 18 car, the Callaway Corvette. But now it's pits window open proper. Forget big gearboxes and collisions. This is about keeping it clean. And Kekele gets on his marks in the GT Ford.
Well, he's coming very, very early, Carlton. He's the first guy to stop, in fact, and that's just obviously dropping down the order as well. Oh, into is the 12 car and the 10 car. That's the Polar Vice car of Maxi Gotts. They've decided to stop early.
So it's getting busier, Mark, as well. The R8 28 car with Rael Fry is also in, the man who was formerly in the Ford. And this is Kekele right now. Let's see if he gets away in time. Now, don't forget the 70-second rule, Mark.
Yep. 70 seconds to come into the pits to do your driver change. You can change tyres if you want. No one is today. They're obviously happy with it. Not that high, the temperature here, Carlton. It's only 18 degrees in the air. It was 42 days ago, and what a change in the weather here. But no chance of rain, they're telling us.
No chance of rain, but chance of drama most certainly. We had leaden skies when it came to qualifying. There was a big rush to get decent times in. There were, of course, many of them beaten by the track. The 14 car does make it out and has had a pretty decent change. There you go, giving away 1.077 seconds. They timed this extraordinarily well, Mark, to hit that 70-second mark. So 1 minute and 10 is what you've got to make.
Yeah, so Kekler, as you say, just manages to get that car out exactly 1 second over the bogey time. So that's well done. So at the moment, out front is still Diego Alessi and Mario Farnbacher. These guys dropping down the field for the moment. That'll come back to them. In fact, they've rejoined in 17th and 18th places, but the rest of the whole field has got to stop there. On board then with Max Gotts, who's taken over from Max Buch. Spa 24-hour winners with Bernd Schneider, and of course winning last weekend at the Nürburgring. Their first win this year and the first win of the year for Mercedes.
Yeah, absolutely, and we wish them well. It was the opening race at the Nürburgring, didn't quite go there as planned for race 2, as you probably know, but it's amazing what a victory there in this ADAC GT Masters could do, but also the Spa 24 hours, which has given them a tremendous amount of confidence. Spa rises and falls as well. I just wonder whether they're carrying that mentality here.
Yeah, why not? You know, you've got a lot of data for that type of racing. So in is the number 8 car at the moment. That is the Herbert Motorsport car of Robert Renauer. Martin Ragginger handing over to Ragginger, the Porsche Factory Junior, and that car will be going a lot quicker in Ragginger's hands when he comes out.
Most certainly. Nice to see that pairing back again. Michael Christensen was in fact subbing for Ragginger, who's busy elsewhere. He had a successful outing as well.
Yep, as we mentioned, won the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia race last weekend at the new Korean circuit of Inye. That's where the first round of the Asian Le Mans series as well. Not terribly successful, only 8 cars started that race, but the Porsche Cup was quite different. And Earl Bamber leads the championship. Martin Ragginger is second with 1 race to go.
Check this out, Corvette versus Audi, and you can see the straight line speed difference, Mark.
Yeah, there's just no contest, is there? Look at that. That Corvette has got so much grunt round this circuit. That V8 power, about 625 horsepower, we're told.
Yeah, we're still waiting to find out just what the Camaro can deliver as well. It's big engine, likewise the Lamborghinis, 2 of which are racing here this weekend.
Yeah, we just saw Rennie Rast handing over to Christopher Meiss, that number 23 car, one of the AB cars, and that car, 27 car, that car coming in from 7th place. And where will that emerge again? Of course, you can make or break positions in this race in the pit stops, and it looks like everyone is so equally matched on this circuit. It's the pit stops that they're going to win this.
I think it may well be. Chris Haas will be taking over in the 26 car, so its position's abnormal at the moment until the pit window actually closes. It's still open, and it's extraordinarily busy. We'll be getting back to the pits, I'm sure, in just a short while, and not least when our 2 leaders come in. The 2 car and the 6 car are really having fun out there, and they're kind of playing with us at the moment. Diego Alessi will be handing over to Danny Kelvitz, and as far as the 6 car is concerned, Mario Farnbacher has done such an amazing job launching from row 3 into P2, and he's been staying there for some time. Winners in 2012, of course, and it'll be Phil Fromweiler who takes over that 6 car, the number 6 of the blue Porsche, and it'll be fascinating to see how the change of driver affects these positions.
Yeah, and the car behind them, the number 3 car, Andreas Wirth, who's Diego Alessi's teammate, he has not stopped either, so the top 3 we've had from the start of the race are still maintained at the moment. My guess is they are just trying to put on as much mileage, as much time over the rest of the field as they can while they've still got warm tyres, while the driver's still up to speed. Here's the number 4 car coming in. That is the Christian Engelhardt Porsche being handed over to Frenchman Nicolas Armindo. And that car had a very tardy start. They got pushed down to 14th at the beginning of the race, but currently running in 10th.
There we go. It's interesting what you're saying, Mark. They have the luxury, the leaders, when the field pit, of actually putting some space between themselves and everybody else. Yep. It's so closely matched here on this circuit, as we're saying, because of the difficulties of it, that you can find space, and that's what all of the lead cars are doing, right?
Yeah, they've got a clear track ahead of them, which is all you need around here. You can make your own pace. You haven't got to worry about passing people. But look at Mario Farnbacher. What a good job he's doing, just hanging on to that obviously faster car, and he's just not giving up. He won this race last year. He knows how to win here, and he's just hoping it's all going to come into him. And it's down to Dad to call, who's also Dominic, to call the shots, get him in when he knows the time's right for that change.
Well, Philip Frommenweiler is waiting, as you've just seen in the pits. It's a question of, I think they'll follow each other in, to be honest. We'll see as well whether those behind them pit at the same time or just a little bit earlier.
Almost unnoticed in fourth place is that Rast and Christopher Mice car, the 27 car. Let's just see where they're going to turn up in the standings as well. Still running in a good, strong fourth.
Well, some of those from further down the order are actually taking advantage of some of the midfield stoppers, and the 100 car as well is taking advantage.
Yeah,
it looks like it's going to go for a long stop. The MS Racing Audi, Dovish and Patel are on board that. Right now,
Claudia Hurtgen then brings in that car, and they just haven't been able to make up the spaces they needed. This is the car, remember, that won at the Nürburgring. Dominic Baumann will be taking over from Claudia. Team strapping him in at the moment, and that 19 car, having dropped right to the back of the field, still has only got itself up to 14th, and I don't think their race is going to get any better.
No, I don't think so. Even if it was without the 40 kilos of success ballast, Claudia Hurtgen has been running so extraordinarily well. 4.4 litres sounds an awful lot, but it's almost chicken feed amongst some of this company.
Well, here come the race leaders, finally making their stop. The pit window will be closing in 1:44, but they've decided now is the right time. Andreas Wirth comes in behind them as well.
Did you see the shimmy as he got on the brakes? Extraordinarily late. This is going to be an amazing stop. Let's see how they go. Two cars going to get to his marks first. And watch out for the Farnbacher Racing. Mario Farnbacher handing over to Frommenweiler, and this is a crucial one. Don't forget, they have to hit 70 seconds mark, so it's not as frantic as you might think. There's a certain amount of pace to this, but it's by a metronome, isn't it?
Yep. So Philip Frommenweiler, he's from Krakow in Czechoslovakia, same town as Robert Kubica, 23 years old. He takes on very driver that Porsche have been following for some time, and my guess is he could well be a Porsche Junior next year. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, the GT40 dropped down, in fact, as low as 17th, just because of the cycle of pit stops, and is now battling back, but it looks like may not actually retrieve position, I'm afraid. So many other cars have come in, done a better stop, apparently. And it's going to be a difficult one, but nonetheless a glorious sight. And away they go, and this is going to be a fantastic drag race down.
What happened there?
Pit road, not quite sure, but look at this, the 6 cars in front. Now, how long can he stay there? That's the big question. Philip Frommenweiler with a massive task in the blue Porsche, and away he goes. And the leader from the beginning of this race finds themselves in P2 at the moment. It's Daniel Kelvitz, and look at the response down in the pit box.
What a great job. That was 1:11.53 they got that car turned around in. Diego Lacey over to Kilbitz was 12.6, so they were 1.1 seconds slower, which is why the Porsche got out first.
Fantastic. Well, there you go.
And there's a Ford right behind them. So that's it. That's where they picked up the Ford. He is in third place, despite your doom and gloom mongering there, Carlton.
You're absolutely right.
Oh, well done.
There we are. Fantastic. He's managed to claw his way back, and more than that, the Ford is more than competitive.
And here we are.
There we are. There's the shimmy, and how's about that for just keeping it very sensible in an extraordinarily tight situation, and look at the response. Well,
if this is Formula One, there would almost certainly be penalties, but as this is a driver change pit stop race, I think ADAC would just love people to see things like this. This is lovely competition. Look how happy everyone is. Farnbacher team are just ecstatic about that. They've done it.
Job well done. Right, how long can the 6 car hold on, and will the GT40 make inroads into this trio? The Ford is running in third place at the moment by right. Corvettes. So forget all I said before, stick that in the bin, and let's just hope that these boys don't do exactly that. This is Frommenweiler out front, nothing in front of it. Oh, but there will be in a moment by the looks of things. Here's your drag race now. What about the switch out of the corner on the exit? A Corvette clearly the more powerful. This is a handful.
Well, Frommenweiler went pretty wide there, and that's let the Corvette get up the inside on the long climb to Remus. He's got the power. So Phillips had his moment of glory, and I'm afraid it's all over. The Ford's trying to go around the other side of him.
Good defending work.
Oh, excellent racing.
Goodness me, fantastic stuff. It's what the ADAC GT Masters is all about. I feel sorry for the boys who now are just sitting themselves back down and just starting to feel the stings from the slaps on the back, I think. They did it in the pits, but doing it on the track is another matter, and it looks like it might even be another spot that's seeded here. Early stopper was the 14 GT40, and it looks like he's going to take this spot, is he? Well, the Porsche's just found his rhythm, thank goodness, and at last they settle back down with Frommenweiler. It's in his hands right now, and look at what's in his mirrors.
Daniel Kulvitz then, Daniel Schwager, Dominic Schwager got it absolutely right behind him. Carlton, German supercar and two American muscle cars making a sandwich of it. How good is that?
Yes, everything you could want, and the sound is absolutely superb. It's what's drawn the fans here. And of course, at ADAC GC Masters, you can get as close to the vehicles and the fans as you possibly can do. It's fantastic. So if you love machinery and you see it coming up on the schedule of a track near to you, then go along, for goodness sake.
This is the pass by Daniel Kulvitz over Philipp Frommenweiler. Nothing that Frommenweiler could do. Porsche just does not have the punch. Don't forget, not only is this a very hilly circuit, we're also quite high up. We're about 3,000 feet up here in the Styrian Alps here in Austria. So there's also the business about, getting enough air, cars gasping for that power.
Absolutely, there is a power deficit. They reckon it can be as much as 7% at this altitude as compared to lower levels, but nonetheless, you wouldn't know it. It's the same for everybody, of course, but some cope better than others, and the Corvettes are, it's their song and dance, isn't it?
Yeah,
They're not dancing anymore.
Frommenweiler's first time here, of course, at the Red Bull Ring, and he's just really earning his spurs here this weekend. As we mentioned, Porsche looking at this Czech driver very closely. Well, is there anything that the number 14 car can do in the hands now of Dominic Schwager?
Well, I'd love him to be able to, but it looks like position set once again. It's a difficult track to make any passes on, Mark.
Yeah.
We've said it's a difficult one to actually get right, but yeah, if you've got the power, you can escape, and that's what's happening right now. The Ford GT40 lights ablaze, just trying to destabilise Frommenweiler in the 6 Farnbacher Racing blue Porsche, but he's having none of it. He's sticking to his lines absolutely perfectly right now.
And look who's come up behind them to 4th place. It's a BMW, and it's a Dutch BMW. That number 12 car of Jeroen den Boer now is on board, having taken over from Simon Knapp. Oh, and here comes the pass, is it, or not? Almost. Frommenweiler left the door very wide open, but Schwager just wasn't able to take advantage. It's so tight, Remus.
It certainly is. What a fantastic racing. The 3-car, incidentally.
He's gone around the outside. Oh. Now he might get him on the cutback. Watch this, Carlton. Oh, he's on the inside as they go out of Schloss Gold through Rausch and down into Vert.
Does a great job.
And he's got him.
Swap fate. He has. Unbelievable. Well, a fantastic manoeuvre, and I feel sorry for Frommenweiler. Actually, he's been bullied ever since he took control of this vehicle. But there by rights goes the Ford GT40, fabulous, with less than 20 minutes to go.
One of the great passes of the race. The other one, of course, we just saw in the pit lane. Now this one on the track, and he just drove right on the outside of him. I'd love to see that again as a repeat from the onboard as well. Frommenweiler then just dropping back very slightly. Look at that Ford, just sits down on its haunches, gets its power down, and off it rockets.
There we are, just over 19 minutes to go then, and yes, from being a leader to being a podium sitter only in just 4 laps, and what a shame it is for Frommenweiler. 19 minutes to go then, and this tale has not been told at all.
Yet. So their fourth car on the picture. Oh, let's have a look. Here it is. Here's the replay. Let's go the long way round. We can't do that. So use the cart back. Come inside as they come out of Schlossgold, and then we're heading up the hill to Rauch, which of course is a left-hander. Can he get round the outside of him? Well, we know he can. We saw him do it.
At that moment, I didn't believe he was going to make it, but just powered round, and a lot of scraping going on as well. Must have been at least three contact points along the way. Let's have a look. They kept it safe.
Yeah.
There he is, first time. And then swap duties, why don't you? Fantastic.
And I think Schuber Motorsport just can't believe what happened there. They've seen their man go from hero to zero in just 2 corners. And well, here he comes. Great driving by both, though. Great driving. There might have been a rub, but there certainly was no hard contact of any sort. And then, of course, Schwager has to cope with another left-hander, which is Werf. Here he is then in second place now, tucked in right behind.
Extraordinarily heavy on the brakes here, Mark, and you see a lot of locking up and a lot of car chatter as well. There is some rucking of the tarmac on occasion as well.
Yeah, and of course this is very high, as we said earlier. This is high up. This is snow covered for half the year, and the track gets very, very broken up by the snow and frost, and so it is very bumpy in places. You get ridges, and this is what that chattering is all about.
Yeah, and a lot of reparation has to be engaged in, although they do lay a good bit of tarmac in colder climes, as you can say. But just look at the bumps and dives, chopping and diving as they go here. Look at that rucking I was telling you about.
Here's the BMW just behind the Porsche. That BMW Den Boer has been hauled in by Christian Hohenadel. That's the other Callaway Corvette. Here it is, the one with the blue nose, and Hohenadel has taken that car over from Andreas Werf. Now remember, Hohenadel has some history in the last 2 weekends. He took his teammate out after rejoining from the pits at the Nürburgring. So this says, hope he keeps his nose clean this weekend.
Yes, exactly. I think a jolly good talking to was had by one and all last weekend. It's a busy schedule, Mark. It was designed to be, and it's provided some exciting racing because everybody has not let their game fall.
Yeah, Martin Ragging as well coming up into the equation. He's now in 6th place. In the other Porsche. So at the moment we've got Porsches 2nd and 6th. Remember, it's Porsche who won both these races here last year. At the moment, I have to say, Carlton, it doesn't look like it's going to happen this weekend.
No, it's not, unless there's something very, very dramatic. And I've got to feel sorry for Philip Fromenweiler, actually. Mario Farnbacher came in, did a great job
there he is.
Doing the swap. There he is. And he's just thinking, that should be me out there. But then again, all drivers think that.
Yeah, well, he knows he's the quicker driver. Philippe is the... He's not an amateur, but he is the slower of the 2 drivers. He's still learning. He's 23, but he hasn't had that much racing experience. You know, he started racing in the Czech Republic at the age of 20, so this is only his 3rd year of competition. I think he's doing pretty well.
Me too. Corvette doing fantastically well as well. There was a while, a couple of years ago, that we really thought Corvette might well not pull the plug, but just ease down a little bit out of top-level competition. And they're proving that they're still very much interested and involved.
So. And here we are. There is Den Boer, then under a lot of pressure now from Hohenadel. 15 minutes still to go. And this is the battle at the moment for 5th place.
And far from over, and your money surely has to be on the Corvette, but then again, in some very capable hands, the BMW. It's doing a good job. Yep. Great defensive work.
Yes, a Dutch prepared BMW by DB Motorsport. This car won at Zandvoort on their home track last year. That was a good result. So there is Mario just being interviewed by German TV. We're not going to be hearing that, but in fact we are.
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
I hope you're not at home. We're not talking all over him.
Yep.
But we're not hearing it at all. So back on track, plenty to play for, and it's stepping out this Mark. How many laps do you think we're going to get into that?
Well, I think the target was something around 37, 38, 39, but we did have that safety car, remember, for 1 lap, so how much that will affect the running remains to be seen. But 1 hour is the cut-off. When the clock gets to 1 hour, checkered flag goes out as the leaders pass the pits next time.
Well, there you are. I looked reasonably happy. And there is that BMW we're talking about. What a fantastic effort he's putting in. It is the DB Motorsport machine. Had a very good run at Oschersleben, runner-up on race 2, and at Spa, of course, a couple of podiums in both races, managed to get there. 3 podiums in total, but it's not going to happen today, I think.
Yep, but when the car was prepared by Peter Dember, father of Jeroen, who's at the wheel at the moment, they prepared it for the Dutch Supercar Series. They then last year took the decision to have a dip into the ADAC waters, won the first time out at Zandvoort, and they've been in the series ever since.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, go to the beach one, don't they? They did, and they won 13.5 minutes remaining then of this opening race on what promises to be a spectacular weekend, and promised and delivered. We've had some fantastic racing, and this, for position, is superb. It's not over yet, Mark.
No, not over yet. Not till the fat lady sings. We haven't seen her yet, so she's still got to make her appearance.
I'm going to put my ballet dress on.
Yeah, 13 minutes to go, and we've got Corvette from Ford, from Porsche. This just really underlines the strength of this series, that we've got all these different marks, and they are all holding the top 6 positions at the moment. Where's Mercedes? They've just really not shown, have they, today?
Well, they had their early run, but unfortunately, the 10 car is now solidly back in 7th place. It's at the back of this little battle that we've seen going on in position on track. There's the 8 car, which is running at the moment, heading up there, but yeah, it's sort of been hovering around about 5, 6 P7, that kind of thing. But with 12 minutes remaining, it's all about the cars up front, and the GT40 is having a fantastic run, showing that they are more than capable when it comes to this series. They're carrying an awful lot of ballast as well. It makes you wonder how quick the Ford GT would be going without carrying 40 kilos, for goodness sake.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's this great battle going on between the Dutch BMW and the Callaway Corvette, prepared in Germany, of course, by Giovanni Ciccione. He's the managing director now of Callaway competition. Boss is still Ernst Vore, but he's more or less given up coming to races. He did come to Nürburgring, his first time this year, but he's left everything in Ciccione's hands, and what a good job they're doing, leading here this afternoon in race 1 at the Red Bull Ring.
Well, the polarized 10 car has been distanced somewhat. Big puff of dust being kicked up. Position
change, I think. The Corvette has got, has he had, no, that's, they don't know, the Porsche, Waginger's got ahead and put the Corvette, the number 8 car. That is a position change. Here we go. The Corvette goes wide. Waginger says, thank you very much. I'll have that position.
Well, that was the puff of dust that we saw, and it had a big implication, as you can see.
Considered now to be the world's top GT3 championship, and if Bounce Performance is anything to go by, that is absolutely right, because we've got 4 different marks in the top 6 positions at the moment. Carlton Kirby alongside me.
Yeah, we're just checking out as well the Mercedes 10 car just coming through on your screens there, followed by the 27 Audi, which is not having a great run at all. Mies and Rast, probably the big disappointments here after going so well at the Sachsenring and Oschersleben, and having a fairly decent run in Spa, 5th in the opening race there. But, you know, they're used to success, and it's not happening for them at all. The 27 car having a miserable time locked down there in 8th.
Yeah, and we're not seeing it at the moment, but further down the field, we've got a very big battle between 3 cars for the Gentleman's Trophy honours. Remo Lips is at the moment leading. He's in yet another Callaway Corvette, running down in 17th place. Renny Bordeaux and Alfred Renard right behind him, and Christina Nielsen, who won last time out at the Nürburgring. She and Anthony Beltois sharing a farm back of Porsche, and they're running Lips, Bordeaux and Nielsen. Their cars are 1, 2 and 3 in the gentleman's race here this afternoon.
Well, the 14 car, we're just checking in on them. Looks like gaps held just for now. The performance match, as we were saying, is quite close between the Corvette and the Ford GT40, and look at it. You can see as well, they now have distanced the Farnbacher Racing Porsche, and it's by what looks like a country mile. In fact, the 6th car is going to have to watch out, because the 12 BMW is actually riding or driving out of its skin at the moment. Simon Knapp and Jeroen de Boer made that car sing.
Here again is that wonderful shot in turn 8, the final corner, as Andreas Werf's co-driver there gets it completely out of shape. That is...
Well, not respecting track limits.
No.
Yeah, not respecting the limit of the vehicle either.
Christian Hohenadel really fighting that car. That's Martin Ragginger, the very experienced Porsche factory junior by. Oh dear. And there is Andreas Werf thinking, what's he doing to my car?
Yes. Well, there you go. It can't be smooth all the time. In fact, the circuit looks pretty smooth from distance here. Oh, hello.
And an early spinner.
Back to that point in a moment.
Or late spinner as we get to this stage of the race. This is Sladica. This is Filip Sladica in the Bosciaco car. He's a Slovakian driver having his first race. 22 years old.
Welcome to the fun. And oh, hello.
This is for position as well. This is a little bit further down the field. This is the number.
This is way back, battling for 20th place. Yes. Shows you, Mark, that they mean business wherever they are.
David Jan, and that's that is Sladica. That's what got him into the spin. He ran out of talent basically, fighting with the farm-backer Porsche.
Well, there we are. Yes.
No harm done. Gets back into it, but he's going to finish, I think, almost last. You're asking me where's Claudio Hertgen, Dominic Baumann in 19th place, and they're not going to move up. I don't think there. They seem to be some way behind. But this is the big battle we're watching at the moment. Ragginger and Hohenadel. Hohenadel's trying to get that position back off Ragginger, and this Carlton is for 5th place.
It's worth having it. Has a look. Well, he's got the power, but has he got the talent? Let's have a look on the rough stuff, and he's trying to get him on the switch here. There's just no room on that side either.
This is where he might get him as they come down into Schlossgold. It's one of the great overtaking opportunities on this circuit. He's got the power, and you can get on the outside and go round the outside, but no, Ragginger knows this circuit too well. He's an Austrian, remember. And this is where you get in, though, on the switch, as you say. Now, can he do what we saw done unto the leader earlier on? Can he go the long way around the outside? Not on this lap. He goes inside. And it's another left-hander. Has he got him? Yes!
Are they listening to you, Mark? That's the question. And are they taking any notice? Goodness me, that's fantastic work. Well, that's amazing defending work. He has not got him.
He had to back out of it. Ragginger was just not going to give him an inch.
No, Ragginger's had a little absence. Michael Christensen it was in the car, don't forget, at the Nürburgring. Well, he's back with Renault right now, and he's doing a fantastic job. But it looks like only a matter of time. The thing is, the clock will run out in just over 5 minutes' time. Start-finish straight. Got a little bit of a drag here. Surely can do it cleanly this time. Bayer has a big look. He's going to deliver this time, and indeed does so. No way back, I'm afraid. No, perfect.
No, it's just power tells. They're going to mix it up with back markers now. Don't get confused. The 5 minutes still to go, and the race order at the moment. Daniel Kilbitz for Corvette, from Dominic Schwager from the Ford, the Lambda Ford, and Philippe Fromenvilla for Farnbacher Porsche. 3 different marks in the top 3 places. All the fight now is behind. It's between this car, the BMW of Jeroen den Boer, and right behind him Christian Hohenadel in the Corvette, and then Martin Ragginger in the Porsche. And there is that first of the Mercedes. That is the number 10 car of Maxi Götz trying to join in on the battle. Maxi Buch on board now.
It is Buch. We're looking through his screen right now. Unfortunately, there's a whole load of cars that matter in front of him, and it's just not going to happen for the 10 car. Only dropped 1 position from their starting place of 6 on the grid, and I think they may well take that. In fact, they were second on the second row, I should say, qualifying 3rd. But yes, they may well take that. It was not a circuit that was supposed to suit them, and so it has proved. Just over 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, and these top cars covered by just 12 seconds. There's then another 10 seconds back to 5th place car. The 6th place car, which is some way back. That would be the Jons Winkelhock Asteria and Audi. So Audi just not really figuring here this afternoon at all.
No, it's they've been largely absent. We haven't seen much of the big basking shark grill, I'm afraid. But yeah, there will be other tracks that suit the Audi far better. This is not one of them. We're with Buch at the moment on board the Mercedes, which sounds absolutely fabulous, particularly on board.
Isn't that great? Isn't that great? Gullwing Mercedes, V8 power. Oh, wouldn't Sterling Moss just love to be doing this?
Just over 3 minutes to go then, and barring any kind of major incident, it looks like positions are held for the podium. It's about minor positions right now, and they're not ceding anything as we speak. This is a super battle that's raging on.
I mean, the podium looks pretty set, Carlton, but this is for 4th place, as you say. BMW, Corvette, Porsche and Mercedes. Again, 4 different marks fighting over 1 place here. This is just great racing. Here we go through the Forest section again. They go down through Rindt Corner, named after the late great Jochen Rindt, then into Red Bull Mobile, and they come through to complete another lap. I think we'll just probably get 2 more laps in.
May well just squeeze them. The clock will out in 2.5, and then it will be the next passage over the line. You know, the GT40 here, it just had a little bit more fortune when it came to qualifying. You've got to believe that they may have had a chance of victory here.
Absolutely, they won at Spa, as you said. That was in the wet going back, but this track has a lot of similarities as Spa. They're in the dry this weekend, of course. It's been very, very hot here up until today. Can the Ford do it? He's only got probably 1 more lap after this. And
good effort.
Great braking on that Ford.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, it's supposed to be extraordinarily hard on the brakes. You've seen a lot of cars just slowing and starting to lose the back end. A lot of lockups go on as well, but I haven't seen too many plumes of smoke, I must admit.
No, I think Kilvitz has been looking after his tyres really, really well, and I think that's why he can resist the Ford at the moment. These cars probably almost identical sort of power. Okay, one's a Ford, the other's a Chevrolet. They're both V8s. They've both got about 620, 630 horsepower, and they're making use of every bit of it. Similar configurations, of course. Front engine in one, mid-engine the other, but they're both rear-wheel drive, as are all the cars in the race.
Half a second only. Sand in his face, doesn't get diverted whatsoever, but maybe a little bit of lack of traction on the Corvette in front, but it looks like they're heading for victory here. Less than a minute remaining.
Yep, and this will be the final lap.
Yeah, exactly. I think it will be as they dive down. You're going to see that moment. Here we go, cuts the corner.
Well, I think both of them did, didn't they? All 4 wheels across. So these 2 guys now have just suddenly pulled out about 7 seconds over the rest of the field. They're broken away. This is the fight for the lead on the final lap now as we go into it. The Porsche of Frommenweiler, Wimmer being dropped back a little bit, then Denber in the BMW looks pretty secure there in 4th place at the moment, but he has got that Corvette snapping at him all the time with Hohenadel on board.
Schwager's so very late on the brakes, and it's the coming together constantly through the corners on the entry into them, but on the escape it's the Corvette that just makes it count. Hitting the flashlight button, just trying to draw out a little bit of attention to the job at hand, but no diversion at all, and it's going to be Kielwitz that brings home this 2-car for victory, I am sure. Clock's out then, so the line beckons for this pair.
Roush and Wirth for the last time, and then down the hill into Rindt Corner, down into the forest here at the Red Bull Ring. Nothing you can do about it. If Kielwitz just looks after these last 2 corners, he has got this race. And
over the rise they come. Clock's gone, and so I'm afraid there's any chance of victory save for the 2-car. It's been a superb effort from pole position. Couldn't have been more perfect. Fastest lap as well. And so they've wrapped up everything, at least at the start of this busy weekend. So another race to come, but this one belongs to them.
They do. And in 3rd place, but it's waiting for there he is, Philipp Frommenweiler to come over. What's happened behind, though? It's Porsche coming through as well. That was the number 3 car coming through there. There's been a big changer, hasn't there? That's the Herbert Motors Porsche. What has happened? Something's happened that we haven't seen. Where is the BMW? There he is. And he comes over the line in 9th place. So something happened on that last lap that we didn't see, Carlton.
Well, what a shame, but a shame we didn't see it, but what a fantastic effort as well. And the 8 car, amazing, that Porsche, the Renard and Raginger machine, well, absolutely brilliant. Into 4th place, but not good enough for a podium on the day. That's our finishing order.
Yeah, I can tell you that order is going to change, because what transpires is that Hohenadel ran into Denber, spun him out of the out of 4th place, and Hohenadel earned a 30-second penalty, which drops him down to 13th after the final standings in the race. So unfortunately, after such close racing, bit of a bitter pill for the Dutch BMW to have to swallow. They dropped from 4th down into 8th place.
Well, what a shame. But there you go. Driving beyond themselves, I think, and indeed beyond the predictions for the vehicle. But nonetheless, fantastic. And our congratulations to Corvette. Fine victory for them.
And remember, we've been talking about a new Corvette for next year. So here are the standings at the moment. Baumann and Hergen still stay just on top of the points, despite that dreadful race for them. Claudia being spun out on the first turn by one of the Lamborghinis.
Well, it shows that exactly what they put into the early part of the season, and I'm sure they'll have another go, and particularly in race 2. We look forward to it, and indeed your company as well. It's a fantastic arena that we are playing here, the Red Bull Ring, and race 2 promises something rather special. So, Mark, race 2 beckons. Fantastic. If we can just get a repeat of race 1, we've had some amazing action. I suspect we'll get more.
Yeah, and that was a pretty close finish as well. 0.8 of a second between first and second there at the end. And then the top 9 cars covered by 17 seconds after an hour's racing. And there's the podium. We're getting ready now for race 2 here at the Red Bull Ring. One mighty bound, Carlton. It's Sunday now, Sunday afternoon here at the Red Bull Ring. This is the second race of the round 5 weekend of the ADAC GT Masters. A different grid and on pole position, would you believe, it is for Dominik Schwager from Daniel Kielwitz, the exact order they finished in yesterday. Just a coincidence, because qualifying is set by a separate qualifying, the pole set by a separate qualifying session.
Well, we'll see how this one starts off. No doubt about it. The GT40, we said, if only they managed to qualify in a race 1 in a decent position and maybe had a better pit stop, things may well have proved to be different. Well, they've got a great chance now. They're on pole. Can they make it count, Mark? Yeah, the Dutch
BMW DB Motorsport car of Simon Knapp, Jeroen den Boer, that is starting 3rd on this grid, and alongside him will be Maxi Buch in the Polar Vice Mercedes as the safety car brings them up, getting ready for the start of another 1-hour race with pit stops between 35 and 25 minutes as the clock counts down. Right, watch out with the 12 car, because Jeroen den Boer said they were completely surprised by their qualifying speed. Maybe it was just one of those golden threads that they managed to put through on the right-hand side of the track. So when it's heads up, it'll be on the left is the Lambda Performance GT40. On pole then, ready for the lights to go out. Everybody happy with them? Waiting, holding, almost there, and time to get on the power, and a quick look as well by Jeroen den Boer, and also Max Bank in the 10 Mercedes wants a piece of this. They spread it very, very wide coming into this. 5 won't fit, and they have to use that huge runoff, and it's lucky it's there exactly for that reason, and everyone stays just about safe. Well, that's cost Schwager time, hasn't it? He ran very, very wide indeed, and he's lost time to the Corvettes, I think we'll find, as they come up the hill. Yes, it is Daniel Kielwitz. No, can't quite do it. The Ford dives back again inside. Ever run around Weymouth's highest point of the circuit very safely, but again, it's changed again. Superb performance as well by Polar Vice and Buch, who's come through here on the number 10 Mercedes, and he's in 2nd place. Absolutely remarkable. Yep. And what's happened to the GT40? He's been harried. Yeah, had lost 2 places as they exited Weymouth. Maybe he missed a gear. Who knows what happened? But he's dropped down. He's trying to come back again. He's in 4th, and it's the Corvette, it's Mercedes, it's Porsche, and then Ford as they stream around the opening lap on the circuit. Kielwitz doing a fantastic job, just hooking up with the 11 Mercedes, which is also on the march, moving up. Oh, big tag, and going backwards. It's one of the Lamborghinis. Yeah, it's one of the Grasser cars. That's the 43 car. Big moment there. That is Bernard Onier on board. He hasn't raced since 2006. Well, he's had his Oniers, I'm afraid. 58 minutes and 30 seconds of racing, and so busy it has been in the first minute and a half here. Seconds count. We've had plenty of them. What a superb performance by Jeroen den Boer. Said he was surprised
at what he could produce in the BMW. He's surprising us all here right now, perhaps.
Yeah,
just,
but
slightly on the slide. He's in 5th place at the moment.
Yeah, he's had to lose. He's lost out to that American V8 power, hasn't he? That's the problem there for Denbo. He had a good qualifying, but when push came to shove, he got shoved back 2 places, and he's still in the hump though, and just starting to break away very slightly though, Kielwitz from the number 10 car, the Mercedes of Maxi Butz.
Well, the big loser at the beginning, I'm afraid, Dominik Schwager, who has gone backwards essentially off pole, and what a shame. We're expecting so much from that vehicle, and the 19 car showing its nose after a hugely disappointing opening race. Claudia Hergen and Dominic Baumann in the 19 black BMW had all kinds of issues on the opening race, in fact in the opening lap of this weekend. And we're on board the number 14 car, and what a terrible place to be for Schwager.
Yeah, that's right ahead of him, Martin Ragginger. We just look back from him, and that car at the moment is in what, 5th place? So number 8 car, no, it's in 3rd place, it's in 4th place there for the Ford. He's just starting to come up, taking big bites out of the circuit. Much better weather today, as you can see. Temperature's gone up 4 or 5 degrees. Beautiful sunshine here in the Alps. And
well, good effort as well by Baradot and Renauer in the 9 car. They're having fun. The second of the gentlemen, don't forget, is Bordeaux. And in fact, it's Renauer that started this one, as you probably suspect by the competitiveness of the vehicle. Take nothing away from Bordeaux, but it's in good hands at the moment. Unlike, I'm afraid, the GT40, it seems that Schwager has thrown away pole position. He's in 4th place, and on this power circuit, it's difficult to make amends.
Yep, he's got a lot of catching up to do. Is he going to get back up there? We shall see as this race unwinds over the next 56 minutes. Remember, when that clock gets to 35, pit stop windows will be open. 2 far back of cars are running together at the moment. Awesome banging and shoving. Again, one of those Grasser Lamborghinis. They're just having a one-off outing. The 2 cars, 43 and 44. We saw 43 being spun out somewhat violently with Bernard Onier on board. That car is back in the race, but he is running dead last at the moment.
Fantastic battle this. We're looking at Schwager, and he's all over the back of Martin Ragginger in that number 8 Porsche, and we're on board with him now, looking at the determination to make amends by Dominik Schwager. Well, it's already well wanting it, but you've got to deliver, and unfortunately there's a very capable driver in front, and that 8 Porsche has been running well this weekend.
Yep, so too today is the 9 Porsche. Alfred Renauer is on board the other of the Torino Porsches, and he's right behind that little group there. He's right on the tail of the Ford in the number 9 car.
Look at Denboer as well, Jerome Denboer on the BMW, just behind Schwager, who we're with right now, and is staying with the GT40. I don't know what they've dialed into it, but he said he was very surprised, Jerome Denboer, at their performance here. But DB Motorsport have produced a fantastic BMW for them, as we watch Schwager just try and close down on the 8 car.
Of course, this is the race that Schwager had yesterday with Martin Ragginger. And they're just taking up where they left off. Here we are, fastest part of the circuit. This is the long straight leads up to Remus. Heavy braking into Remus. You get him going through the gears. Down into 2nd, then 1st.
Well, that was Denboer. He's watching this battle just ahead of him at the moment. But he's staying with it, absolutely. I'm just wondering if the 8 car is a bit of a cork in the bottle here, and we'll see whether it is, and whether the 14 car can make amends for what was an extraordinarily tardy start. Whoa, there we are, contact it looked like, maybe just avoiding action. Twitch by the driver can often look like that, but the BMW stays, just trying to pick up crumbs from the top table at the moment. Nice switch, great pressure. Great racing mark here this week.
Yeah, I think what's happening, I think the tyres are now coming up to temperature for the Ford. We're 4 laps in, and suddenly he's got more grip. We could really see that over the last 3 or 4 corners. So it's my guess that Ragginger is going to be overtaken in the next lap or so.
Over the rises and falls he comes, and there, that 12 BMW still holding station. Led off row 2. They said they were surprised to be there, but they're driving like they have every right to be.
Yep, still on board with the Dutchman, Jeroen Den Boer. DB Motorsport cars prepared near to Assen. Up the hill, and heavy braking for Castro. Fortunately, we got away with the first lap collision this time. It's very rare for a tidy first corner here at the ring.
Yes, indeed, and which is why they have such an enormous amount of runoff. Let's have a look at it, Mark. I'm hoping that we can catch a little bit more sight of exactly what happened with the GT40. There he is, dead centre of the screen, almost classically so. Could be historical. And
there's Denboer, who's just gets squeezed out by everybody, doesn't he? He's on the inside, and he's just got nowhere to go as he turns into the corner.
Check this out, the Callaway competition car with Kielwitz alongside the GT40 at that point, and just guiding through the Mercedes of Buch, as you can see. It was busy, Mark. I'm surprised they all got through it.
I'd love to be in the middle of that, wouldn't you, Carl?
No.
Oh, it's great. We do it every day in London. But oh, and that's almost a spin there. It's a half spin there for Schwager, and that's what happened. He got the car sideways. That's where he lost position.
Well, I don't think he was tagged. I think he just it was the power delivery. And look at that. What on earth is going on? And that's not a happy team.
Yeah, that's Diego Alessi looking at whatever Daniel Kielwitz is getting up to. Here's the number 8 car running a solid third at the moment. Got right behind him the 14 car. That is the Ford of Dominic Schwager, and right on his tail, Jeroen Denboer in the BMW.
I'm really surprised at the pace of Denboer today. He was surprised at his qualifying position. We mentioned it earlier on, but oh, look at this fantastic move here by the Hürtgen Baumann machine. Has a big look up the backside of the Corvette. And you know what? Some of these Corvettes are not having the best of runs. There's a talent deficit amongst some of the teams, I'm afraid. And well, we saw that they got slightly ragged last time out at the Nürburgring. And look at this, all over the place for the 18 car at the moment.
Collision there between the number 3 car. Again, that is Hohenadel. Got involved yesterday, and he and Dominic Baumann banging wheels. Baumann makes the most of it, but that's dropped him back into the clutches of Christopher Meiss in the Audi.
Yeah, Meiss in the R8 doing a good job and hands that position back to the 19 car. Baumann doing a fantastic job here, making that black machine do its job. But he's been beaten again here, I'm afraid. No, excuse me, it was the heads up, hold station.
He just managed to do it. I think it's only a matter of time, though, that the Audi, before the Audi gets by it, much more power. Remember, this BMW has the smallest engine in the race, 4.4 litres. They rely on their setup for traction. That's what's so good about the BMW, but they don't have the high speed they need around here.
Yeah, and they don't have the levity either, I'm afraid, because they carry 40 kilos because they have been so successful. Second, or up there, I should say, in the championship as we came into this weekend. And amongst the winning is 6 wins, I think, for Meiss. Yep. He and Ras got their work cut out, I'm afraid, in the 27 car today. There is the 18 machine.
Baumann's got that car into 8th place now, which is great after their start. I mean, they started in 8th, they fell back early on. Here's a replay of what happened to this is Bernard Arnier in that Lamborghini. Wow, didn't that car spin?
It certainly did.
He got tagged, that was quite obvious.
The clouds of smoke, he was trying to drive himself to a halt at that point. Needs to practice his escape spins, I'm afraid.
And this is what happened to another of the BMWs down at the Schlossgold corner.
Olivice machine.
Yeah. Sorry, Mercedes, yeah. That's the second one, isn't it? That's the that car a little bit further back.
Afanasiev and Simonson car.
Yep.
Been reasonably quick though. But you don't go quick doing that, I'm afraid.
This is the only Vita 4-1 racing team car. Nick Kentenich on board that car, having a very wild off moment.
Yeah, I'm afraid the other Vatafone racing machine not with us this week, and Metzger and Brown. Absent.
They seem to be chopping and changing at the moment, don't they, at this stage of the season. This is, of course, the first race of the second half of the season. It's 8 rounds. This is round 5, and we've still got another 3 rounds of racing to go. Lausitz-Ring at the Slovakia Ring, that's new for them, and at Hockenheim.
Well, here's the Camaro. Now, it's been hobbled, I'm afraid. It's carrying a bit of weight. It's great to see, though, and indeed even better to hear.
Oh, absolutely wonderful, isn't it? And the whole team is so pleased to be out here. And this is Hans Reiter's program, as we said. That car, look at if you can see another shot of the car, you can see the front and rear wheels are the same diameter.
Yeah, that was Baumann making a nuisance of himself, just passing by one of the Corvettes here, or almost doing so. Position retaken by the 18 car, formerly with Jerome Bleekemolen, of course. It's Mike Parsing along with Tom Seeler. this weekend. Meanwhile, Mercedes yet again doing a great job. The Polar Vice Racing number 10 car starting off with Bunk, and just looking out the back, and back at it as we speak, I believe. Yes,
yep.
Absolutely.
Well spotted.
There we are, and it is our leader is the 2 car, and doing a great job of it as well. Kvyat's got a terrific start, and with the rather tardy performance, I'm afraid, by Lambda Performance and GT40 with Dominik Schwager, took advantage and has been there ever since, Mark.
Yeah, they're now breaking away from Ragginger in 3rd place. There he is. Then the Corvette, then Jeroen van der Berg, then the number 9 car. That's the sister car to Ragginger's, Alfred Renauer, on board the second of the team. Renault powered Herbert Motorsport Porsches.
Just looking at the 2 car, then it is our leader, and it is Corvette, and we're kind of getting used to saying that, to be honest. This circuit absolutely suits the big rumble power that's delivered by the Corvettes. It's nice as well, as we've caught a brief look at the Camaro towards the back of the field, carrying a huge weight disadvantage this weekend as visitors, essentially, to this series. I always feel it's unfair to them.
Yes, quite right. So those 2 leading cars, of course, similar configurations, both front engine, both V8s, the Corvette and the Mercedes. The only difference is one's American muscle power, and they've been doing it for hundreds of years. Mercedes haven't been doing it quite so long.
We'll take a break.
We're back at Red Bull Ring here in Austria, round 5, race 2 of the ADAC GT Masters. We have battle on our hands here for 3rd place at the moment. We're watching Martin Ragginger in the Herbert Motorsport Porsche, leading his bunch of cars here, amongst them the Ford GT there that's the pole man Dominik Schwager, fell back at the beginning, and right behind him Dutchman Jeroen den Boer in the DB Motorsport BMW Z4.
I'm just wondering what Frank Kekler, oh dearie me, more on that in a moment. That's looking like a very second-hand Lamborghini. Well, time to get the checkbook out. Straight into one of the runoff zones, and thank goodness they are there. It's the 44 car.
That's Gerhard to Twereza. He's showing that car with Harold Prochik. He's lost a rear wheel. Who was the car who came off with him? Now, which came first, the chicken or the egg? The wheel come off and he took the Porsche off, or
well,
he's not going anywhere?
That's a real shame, not only for them, but for the Porsche.
Does this mean a safety car like we had it in race 1? That was only a brief one. Maybe he's far enough off the track. Let's just watch this spot.
Yeah, see if it can be retrieved safely. They need that runoff area for other vehicles as well if it can't be moved.
Right, now you'll see the yellows are out, so everyone's got to be very, very careful that they don't overtake anyone. They don't do any fast sector times at that point. Here it is again. Here's the 44 car. So I guess this is a replay.
Oh, he just lost the wheel. Actually, was lost. He wasn't tagged. Yeah. He went alone.
So in fact, no one else was actually involved. In fact, there was an amazing avoidance there.
It was.
And that ends the race then for Gerhard Twereza before Harold Prochik can get on board in race 2. Oh.
Well, there's nothing the driver could do about that. And
amazing
the
shot.
R8 that got through the 100 car, that was a superb piece of avoidance. They say go for the incident. That's exactly what happened.
Daniel Dobic.
Yeah, good on him.
Having a big avoidance there. Good camera work here.
Brave camera work as well, I'll be back.
Yeah, stuck to his post. Give him a bonus. Here we are. Here's the lead battle still. It's Corvette and Mercedes fighting it out round the Red Bull Ring. And
well, Max Bunk, is Max the youngest here?
Max is the youngest here. He's 20 years old.
There we are.
Yeah.
Bunk and Gotts did such great work at the Spa 24 Hours with Bernd Schneider. The 2 young men with Bernd doing a fantastic job. Taking that and have brought that mentality with them, as we mentioned on race 1, and they're doing a fantastic job here, running in 2nd place. Now, pit window will be opening fairly shortly, Mark.
Yeah.
Let's just remind ourselves, we look at the 7 car.
This is Hohenadel
making moves.
Yeah.
Let's remind ourselves of just how long that pit window is open for people.
Yeah, 10 minutes from 35 on the clock until 25, and if you don't stop during that pit window, you will get a drive-through penalty, and if you come out of the pits in less than 70 seconds after entering, you will also get a drive-through penalty.
There we are. 27 car is sort of hobbing around that 7, 8 and 9. There's been a lot of interchange. Big mover has been the 1 car, actually. They had a terrible qualifying. Stoll and Ash. You probably expect more from them, but they are moving up through the field. There's that. They can't help but show us the bravery of the cameraman.
Yeah, director's in love with this shot, isn't he? It is pretty spectacular.
It is indeed, and here comes the wheel that did not bother the camera.
As is Daniel Dobish's avoidance of that great piece of driving there. So,
yeah, nothing the driver could do about that, actually. Just a giveaway on the corner, and not quite sure what failed, but it was enough to take the wheel off. There you go. Yes, we're just looking at some of the sector lap times, as you can see. The 1 car has started to make amends for what was a disastrous qualifying. The Camaro did not qualify, incidentally. It had an engine change as well, and as a result started plumb at the back.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on the 41 car. It is moving through the field, using its power, indeed carrying its weight rather well.
Yeah, it's still running a solid, where are we at the moment? Solid 17th at the moment.
Oh, there you are. Continuing started plumb last in 26th place. Not bad.
Coming up to complete lap 14. We're on board the number 14 car, Dominic Schwager. And he is still trying to do all he can to get past Porsche factory driver Martin Raginger in the Herbert Motorsport Porsche 911 GT3 RSR.
On near perfect weather conditions, the sun is shining on us, and Schwager just desperately almost before he hands the car back, trying to put this car in a decent position, a better position. Don't forget the pit stops. You have a 70-second window, so pit changes or changes at the pit stops is a difficult thing to master, Mark, but we've seen it in has a look around the outside. He's going to make it stick. Surely no. 5 back time. Look at that, fantastic. Well, the 8 car doing an amazing job here, and it's Martin Raginger who's got hold of that machine right now, and he's embarrassing the GT Ford.
Such good traction with the engine hanging over the rear wheels there. It is, as you say, almost embarrassing. That's given Ewan Denver the chance to get at the Ford as well. The Ford had to back right out of that. Here we are looking back at the Dutch BMW from the Ford.
Well, he was doing some heel snapping, don't forget, in race 1. Almost out-qualified himself, he said, to lead off row 2, but is here by rights and doing a superb job of it.
Yep. Team watching on then from the pit lane as he really piles on the pressure. That car at the moment running in a solid 5th place, trying to take 4th off the Ford.
Fabulous on board as we look back at the BMW. BMW have done a fantastic job of making this car look one of the most threatening on the grid. I have to say, when you put the matte black livery on that the 19 car is displaying, it looks like something otherworldly, or perhaps from a Batman movie, not quite sure. Yeah. So, approaching pit windows, who's going to be first to dive, Mark?
Well, let's wait and see. It's just, as you say, 1.5 minutes to go. That BMW has just got such good handling, hasn't it? Mid-engined, of course. The Z4, they've moved the engine right back in this car. We're talking about sheep's clothing, wolves. There is the Camaro coming in with its stickers on the front. This car run by Hans Ritter.
Coming off P17 as well, Mark, and good on them as well. Slowing down to make their stop. That's pretty good inroads from their starting position.
Yep. Oh, is that the pits aren't open yet, of course? So that is an unscheduled stop. So no, that means the track's clear at the moment. You've still got 45 seconds to go before the pits open. So
well, I wonder whether that's an error.
Yeah. So what is the problem for them? It's a learning weekend. It's the first time out with a new car. Peter Cox on board it at the moment. He and Albert von Dern in Texas were the 2010 champions, driving for Hans Reiter's Lamborghini team. Reiter's now trying his hand at this Camaro, seeing if he can knock it into shape after some unhappy outings in other hands last year.
Well, to be honest, Mark, as well, occasionally you do mishear pit instructions, prepare to pit and pit. Two very different things. I just wonder if he's actually got it wrong.
Yeah, no, I think it's just probably some sort of problem with the car. That was the
Camaro.
I'm just looking for its number. Yeah, 41. Number 41. Yeah, it has stopped out of sequence. Yeah, the pits are open now, and this is where we will see who is going to come in first. There's a number of cars already lining up, I think, to come in. Let's see who blinks first.
Well, we saw the leaders all come in together last time. I'm just wondering if it's going to be more of the same. All eyes upon the 2 car, I guess.
So, you know what you'll do if you've got a slower driver now, you'll hand over to the faster driver. You'll stop early and hand over to the faster driver, because he can make up the time that you're going to continue losing as long as you stay out there. Hopefully, we'll see how that works out. Here we are on board with Dominic Schwager in the Ford, still hunting down Martin Ragnar, but he can't do anything about it, Carlton.
No, he can't. So who of this lead duo are going to, or from the lead duo, I should say, will blink first? We're not looking at that at the moment. We're looking at this battle for third place between the number 8 Porsche and the GT4 number 14 car, the white, filling your screens right now, the white vehicle, absolutely beautiful. Yeah, it's going to be interesting because the leaders all came in together on race 1 and were bidding to give themselves a little bit of track space on what was a very busy circuit.
Oh, it's Gotts. Gotts is in.
Well, there you are.
First official stopper.
No follow leader here. This will be interesting.
Yeah, so he'll be handing over to Max Buch. Winners last time out at the Nürburgring. So why have they stopped on the first available opportunity? Just checking the tyre pressures at the back there. Maybe, just maybe Gotts has been saying, you know, I need a little less air in the tyres. So let's get that done earlier rather than later.
Could be. There is the 2 car. The 27 Audi is also in, of Mice and Rast, who really have been struggling, I'm afraid. Starting off on row 4. The 27 car really not making terribly big inroads on this track. The Audis really had suffered here, whereas the GT40 looks like it's singing. I've got to say the 8 Porsche as well, doing a fantastic job.
All full marks to Martin Ragnar on his home track. Of course, he comes from Salzburg, only about 100 kilometres away from here. But that number 2 car, Daniel Kulwitz, he's got the track all to himself at the moment. That's a time to savour. He's got no one trying to get past him. He's got no one he's got to sit behind. Quite different for this man on board the Ford.
Well, I don't know when the 2 car's going to come in, but I think we may well have our answer fairly shortly, as Gotts exits right now, and it almost looks like he's alone on track. I presume that's part of the design of the stop, and away they go. Didn't quite get what his how close he was to the 70-second marker. You mustn't go underneath it, of course, and the idea is to play the game to get it as close as possible. They're usually within 1 second, but here comes our number 14 car, the GT40, coming out and on his mark, off 4th.
Yes, coming out of what was 3rd place after Gotts had stopped. So change of driver from Dominic Schwager to Frank Kechler. Frank Kechler from Munich, 26 years old.
Well, it's an important run this for the 10 car. They've got to get up to speed, got to start attacking right from the very, very start here. And it is Max Gotts who's taken over from the other Max, Buch. Their tails are up because of Spa, the 24 hours, being part of that winning team. And this is the 14 car right now. It had moved up a spot to 3rd briefly because after the 10 car stopped, so effectively 4th on track, but he's ready to go. Super smooth stop by the looks of things. Haven't got a clock on him, unfortunately. When is the 2 car going to stop?
Yeah, that's what we're going to wait and see. We've got timing, by the way, for Max Buch to Maxi Gotts. It was 1:11.9, so it's quite a slow stop. 1 minute, 1 second, 0.9 over the bogey time. They could have actually made that a bit better, but it's very tricky here. It's a very tight pit exit here at the old A1 ring, the Red Bull ring as it's now called. You come up the hill, you're between narrow barriers, and you have to turn sharp right because you're on the inside of the first corner, and that makes it very difficult to judge the exit time bang on.
There we are, the 8 car coming in off second place, I believe, as he moved through with the stops of the 10 Mercedes and the 14 GT40. And he's on his marks right now. The 2 cars also in. Here is our leader. Now, this is going to be a crucial exit, and there is the pit clock rolling. Don't forget, they've got to hit 70 seconds, be beyond that time at the exit barrier or at the exit marker, and the clock rolls on, and we hook up with the back out on track, and here it is, the 10 Mercedes rumbling away and plying his trade brilliantly. That is Maxi Gotts. As far as the 2 car is concerned, it was Kilvitz handing over to Diego Alessi, who was hands on hips and really bossing the garage, as you saw. If he smiles, everyone smiles. If he doesn't, better beware. And there you are, there's the exit. And 1.8, giving away 1.8.
Yeah, that's a little bit slow as well. I mean, if you can get it around about 110.23, then that's perfect. But there we go, out they come. And Gotts, of course, trying to put in as fast a lap as he can. Yeah, comes out ahead of him, just ahead, that number 2 car. So good stop. They had more or less similar pit times, didn't they? One was 11.8, the other was 11.9. So out they come, still tied together by a piece of string. And this one's going to continue for the rest of the afternoon.
It certainly seems that way. So the pit stops, still plenty of vehicles to make them, and in fact it gives an opportunity for some to at least briefly shine brightly. But check this out, in comes the 19 car. They've been brutalised here, I'm afraid. It's not been a great run for them, Mark.
No, they have worked their way up to, they're in 5th place at the moment as they come in to stop in the pits. And in fact, they're in 3rd place as he actually comes to a halt, but that's going to fall back again. Where are they going to come out? As you say, not the best of weekends. Claudia then strapped in. She's 46 years old now, First Lady of German motorsport, 3 times German touring car champion. But
and
really
fabulous at the Nürburgring.
Yeah, wasn't she? Just absolutely perfect circuit. She knows so well. She comes from Aachen, which is near the Nürburgring, so very much at home here. But again, this circuit they've all raced on here. This is the 3rd time the GT Masters has been on this circuit, and it's always provided great close racing.
Yeah, this has been extraordinarily close as well. Shame for Mercedes that they just couldn't get the nod here. Just a matter of a couple of car lengths, but that's what counts. Now, almost the time difference between them at the pit stop.
Yeah, now what this is underlining is just how equally matched the drivers are in each car, because Kilvitz to Buch and then Alesi to Gotts, and they're still maintaining the same gap. This, as you just that means the Ford has got ahead of the Porsche.
I'm a fan. I'd love one.
That's a turnaround.
Yeah, it is fantastic. Great effort by them, by that pairing as well. They pitted on different laps, and but they're still locked together, as you can see. It's a mark of just how close the racing is on this circuit. It does come down to power in the end, because it is such a quick place to be. There's effectively 4 very, very long straights. And in fact, 2 of those linked by a virtual no-lift corner.
I mean, here's the pass then. This is the moment it came. The 14 car gets its nose ahead of the Porsche, and now on board is Frank Keckler. Takes position from Robert Renauer.
They're way down the order, by the way. What are we on lap 20, and they're running in 16 and 17 at the moment. But so many cars have to stop, and they will be back up. Once this unwinds.
Most notably, Carlton. We haven't seen the BMW stop yet. Jeroen den Boer. And when he stops, we will have a good idea what the order is going to be for the rest of the race.
26 minutes then to go. Pit window still open, but we've got just over a minute remaining of it, Mark, and you better get it right. If you miss out, there is a penalty.
Where is the 12? Oh, big sideways moment as he went way off the circuit there. That is almost going into penalty time there when you do that, get 4 wheels off the circuit like that.
We've seen so many do it. Has there been many penalties handed down?
We understand there's been 2 drive-through penalties so far, one for Mike Parisi and one for Dieter Grasser, both of them for not respecting track limits. We didn't see them. Here we are, there it is again, but I think Alesi will be allowed to get away with that. We haven't seen him do that before. You can do it once, but If you keep doing it, you will get a 30-second penalty.
Absolutely, especially
or a drive-through.
Especially as they listen to us on trackside.
Yes, of course they do.
Pit window about to close then in 30 seconds time, and when it does, that will be a job done for everybody. I think they've all managed to make... Oh no.
What we haven't seen is the BMW, the number 12 car, Denbo handing over to Simon Knapp. It must be over now because they will have made their stop, just to be absolutely sure. There's only 11 seconds left. And Maxi
well, I'm just looking.
Doing the flash.
I'm actually wondering, in the wrong part of the circuit at the moment is the 4 car, and I think they're going to come to pits late. Or oh no, they went very early. I beg your pardon.
Yeah, that stopped early. That's
Pit
right.
window has closed. There we are. And so if you come back in, you're in trouble.
Well, has that BMW got itself out ahead or behind the Ford of Frank Keckler? Just waiting to see. He's not dwelling back long enough to let us see.
Well, not dwelling either. You can see just how closely matched they are. They look like they're not moving, Mark, but they're carrying an awful lot of speed on this circuit. We mentioned it earlier. What are we top speeding at here?
It's 237 kilometres an hour on the... As they come up to the corner, they just came to Ramus. That is the fastest part of the circuit. It's going uphill as well, so...
Absolutely remarkable.
Yeah.
Well, it's a fantastic facility. We mentioned it on race 1.
Carlton, look behind them. It's a BMW, not a Ford. It looks like Simon Knapp's managed to get that car back out in 3rd place. The Dutch BMW. This is the car they've been saying all weekend is just not suited to this circuit.
He was saying it himself. Yeah, he said they couldn't quite believe where they'd qualified, and well, he's showing that he's clearly full of belief at the moment. The 10 car still harrying. The Mercedes doing a fantastic job. We're on board with our leader at the moment, and again steps off the track.
Yeah, well, I've just had the pit time in for the number 12 car, Jeroen Denbo, handing over to Simon Knapp. It was 1 minute 10.07 seconds. So
there you go. That's cutting it absolutely
7/100ths of a second. They got out just inside the bogey time.
I'll tell you something, Mark, if you want tight, just check out this battle right now. The Mercedes looks like he's got the will. Has he got the way? The lights flash, but unfortunately when it comes to the straight line, the number 2 Callaway competition Corvette has what it takes, but in the curly stuff through Roush and indeed Wirth, that's where the Mercedes really makes up ground, and it's near contact.
Yeah, that's got the handling, but the Corvette's got the top speed, doesn't it? And the Corvettes, as we saw right through yesterday's race and again the first half of this race, they've got everything on the straights, but they're really struggling in the corners. It's all very squirrely.
It's remarkable actually, when you look at the vehicles, you'd think that the Mercedes with that hugely long bonnet would be less stable. I don't know what they've dialed in with the computer brain here, but clearly the Corvette, which looks the more balanced machine from the outside, just hasn't got it when it comes to the corners.
Yeah. So great onboard shots, riding on board with the Corvette, our race leader. And of course at the moment what we're looking at, Carlton, is the possibility of a double win for Alessi and Kilvitz. And Alessi now at the wheel. There is Daniel Kilvitz, and watching progress of his Callaway Corvette.
This is a fantastic battle. I just feel that they need to put a couple of more kinks in the circuit all of a sudden if that Mercedes is going to have a chance. He hits the light flasher, but yeah, just holding station and doing a great job. Diego Alessi, a man who's full of self-belief, and indeed bossing not only the pit box, but clearly here as well, out on track. Doesn't like it at all. Does not like it, and why would you? Gotts wants by, but just can't make it stick, even when he has the opportunity, as you can see. Track opens up, but he can't make it pay.
We've got spent less time flashing his lights and more time trying to get by. Maybe he can pull that off, because this is in microseconds, the difference.
Well, we're going to take ourselves a break in just a few moments, but we'll keep an eye on this fantastic battle that's raging here at the Lausitz Ring. Yep,
so Denbo then coming up behind, or Knapp as it is now in the Denbo car, that BMW in 3rd place and starting to close. We'll take a break, back in a moment. Back at the Red Bull Ring here in Austria. This is the final 20 minutes of round 5 of the ADAC GT Masters, and Carlton Kirby, Mark Cole here. Carlton, we have a great battle on our hands between Diego Alesi for Corvette and Maximilian Gotz for Mercedes.
It's absolutely raging. They just haven't let up one little bit, and Mercedes want victory here. Whether they're going to manage it by fair racing or foul remains to be seen. At the moment they're keeping it clean, but it is so very tight, and it's forcing the two car to use a little bit more than the track on a number of occasions here. I don't think he's been more than 4 wheels off. How can you get more than 4 wheels? I don't think he's been more than 2 wheels off, except for one occasion, but it just shows how both of these vehicles are absolutely full on. And with Alesi versus Gotz, you couldn't ask for more.
No, the Italian, though, very much in control at the moment. He's very, very experienced. Remember, he's a past champion, and got the windscreen wiper going just for a second there. So while Gotz is busy, Gotz is busy with his headlights. Alesi's thinking, I'll play with the windscreen wipers just to distract him. He obviously can't see him, but here we go.
I was wondering if he's got a washer on there as well and was just trying to spray him just to tease him up. I don't know.
We seem to have some sort of order settling down behind these two. These two certainly aren't settled, but behind Alesi and Gotz for Corvette and Mercedes, we've got Simon Knapp for BMW, got Frank Keckler for Ford, and Robert Renard, who's taken over Martin Raginger's Porsche, the Herbert Motorsport car. And then in 6th place, it's the 27 Abt Audi of René Rast, handed that car by Christopher Mice. They seem pretty set, those positions at the moment. And also just add, Mario Farnbacher is in 7th place in his family's Porsche.
Credit where it's due. Starting 23rd today and running in 12th place is the MS Racing of Stoll and Ash, the number 1 car. That is Inroads. Whoa, hello. And that was, I think, an illegal use of the circuit there by, or beyond it, by Simon Knapp. Just went way off. They didn't make any. I didn't see any tyre changes here, Mark. No. They'll be reaching the end of the limit now.
Yeah, I haven't seen any today, so they're pretty safe on an hour with these tyres. But Knapp doing a great job. Remember, this car has got a lot less power than the Ford that's chasing it. But here we go again, another move there by Gotz coming up the hill. No, he has to back out of it again. But look how much better his braking is than the Corvettes.
Yeah, exactly. He also, of course, has great fun drafting him. But then as soon as he comes out into the wind and tries to deliver the power, it's almost like he goes backwards. It's a real shame for him. But 18 minutes or so remaining of this race. It's been fantastic. I know we've got positions held at the moment, but look at the battle that's on your screens right now. And it is a proper battle as well. This is full-on racing. That's the joy of this ADAC GT Masters.
Yeah.
The cars are so well matched.
And it's much hotter today than it was yesterday. We've had 29 degrees here in the Alps. Yesterday it was a lot lower, down to about 20, but the sun's been out all day today. It's been 37, 38 degrees on the track. Tyres don't seem to be minding at the moment, but the one thing you've got to be careful is don't get too close to the car you're following, chasing, because eventually all your gauges will start to go up.
Yeah, you get air stolen from you. Maybe a nice hole is punched in the air, but you need that air through the radiators just to cool things down. All the vents count for an awful lot. Looking at Keckler, who started on pole position, we're on board with him right now. Unfortunately for him, he's got Jerome Dembour in front of him, and what a superb performance that has been.
Yeah, but Dembour's been fastest man on the track at the moment. He's closing in lap after lap, and he's now within striking distance, and he's brought the Ford with him too. So this, as you can see now, how much closer they are than they were about 4 or 5 minutes ago.
There they are, indeed. We may well have 4 finishes fairly close together here. It certainly looks that way. Just under 17 minutes to go. And Dembour is able to distance the GT40, and I'm super surprised. The GT40 looks slightly ragged in the hands of Keckler. I think it's the end of its tyre life right now. I don't know how much he's taken out of it early on. They were on pole and threw it away very early, Mark.
Yep. Now remember, fuel loads are getting lighter, and that may be coming back to the BMW's advantage as well. It's a very well balanced car, that BMW. We know that from the Hertgen Baumann car, and he seems to have much higher cornering speeds than the 2 cars ahead of him, and that's what is getting him closer and closer each lap.
Well, closer the Mercedes gets on occasion, but unfortunately just on the escape. It's the Corvette that's able to deliver the power. This, may remind you, is a power circuit. And indeed, it was supposed to be on a plate for Corvette and Porsche. It didn't turn out quite like that. Mercedes have really found themselves today, and it's great to see Polar Vice Racing doing such a good job, and indeed just keeping the pressure absolutely locked on. And with 15 or so minutes remaining as we stand, there is absolutely nothing time-wise to choose between these two. Problem for Mercedes is that there's a man in front who's just on slightly better power, and indeed he may well make up ground through the technical parts and indeed under braking, but he just can't get by.
Yeah. Now remember, this car, this Mercedes we're looking at, that had 2 second places at Spa. And we have mentioned about the similarity between Spa and this circuit with certain sectors of it. So this car obviously really enjoys that. It's had 2 seconds, it's had a win at the Nürburgring, and at the moment it's looking for the win here today. So that car very, very well hooked up now. But all the time it's Simon Nat getting closer and closer in the BMW, but Jeroen Den Boer handed over to him, obviously in absolutely tip-top condition, because that car is flying.
You know, the Mercedes is an absolutely beautiful looking car, but right now they'd swap all that to win ugly. I'm afraid that, save for the flashing lights, which is just starting to annoy me, although it's doing nothing to Diego Alessi, I must say, oh, that's a shame. 28 car takes a brief excursion. This is the Janssen Winkelhock car.
And this is obviously what happened.
Oh, there we are. It was more than just an incursion, and in fact contact.
That's
with
Claudia.
Claudia Hergen.
Yeah, I don't think she realised it was quite so close, and she moved over to take her line. Oop, pushed him off the circuit.
Won't be bullied now, Claudia. Look at that. And this is where suddenly you start standing ground. Oh dear. Well, it was 1, 2, 3, 4. There we are. Well, there was a response from Claudia. Yeah. Nonetheless, she wasn't going to be put off.
So Christopher Jons takes the escape road. No good waving out yellow flag at him. He knows he's gone off.
he is quick, but not like that, unfortunately. Yeah. A good year as well, a 28 car.
That will cost him a bundle of time, and that
second on race 1 in the Nürburgring, and very different run here.
In fact, that car drops down 5 places, and Claudia's got some damage, I think, from what we saw there, Carlton. So maybe a pit stop's coming up. Not been their weekend, is it?
No, unfortunately, she's dropping back right now.
Came here.
I was hoping it was just door run, but it wasn't.
Came here as championship leaders. That is fast disappearing.
What a shame. Well, we'll see. Championship leader, but for how much longer? 13 minutes or so remaining. Kekler and that GT40. Unfortunately for him, he's got a BMW, which is slightly embarrassing. They're not supposed to be able to run well here, but in the hands of Simon Knapp,
look how much
it's doing a great job.
Look how close they are now to the 2 leaders. It's every lap they're gaining 4 or 5 seconds on them.
Well, Jeroen Den Boer started it, handed over to Simon Knapp, the DB Motorsports BMW, at the pit stop, and he's doing a fantastic job of carrying this now. Meanwhile, out front, it's positioned as you were. I think they could actually put a tow rope between these two, and it'd probably be slack. They're that close together with just over 12 minutes to go.
I'm just looking further down the order, see what is happening in the Gentleman Driver Trophy, and change of leader today. René Bordeaux is leading in the Herbert Motorsports Porsche. He's down in 11th place at the moment, ahead of Tony Seiler and Christina Nielsen. So again, similar 1, 2, 3 to yesterday, but Bordeaux is out front.
There we are. He stopped flashing the lights. That's a blessing. 12 minutes to go. There we are. It was doing him no favours at all. It was just 2 fingertips off the wheel. I think there's actually a button you can press for flashing lights, but nonetheless, there we are. How close do you have to be at speed? Amazing. These guys are keeping it clean.
The Goldwing Mercedes chasing Detroit Iron there. Well, of course, those Chevrolets are built here built in Germany, next door to Austria, and is the difference then? Nothing to call, is there? Look at that.
Well, this is a great closing job here by Simon Knapp, and in fact this is going to be a quartet across the line by the looks of things. Goodness only knows what the gap will be. Right now, as it counted through, it's less than it's about 2.5 seconds between all 4 of them. Fantastic.
Yes, if
even less, about 1.2 in fact, as we look. So 11 minutes to go. Yet more dust kicked in the sand in the face of the Mercedes. can't make inroads, and I think this looks like positions held despite the fact it's so close, Mark, if nobody makes a mistake.
Yeah, and Denver even closer now as we go into about, I think we're lap 32. No change in the order of any of the top 9 since the pit stops. In fact, the top 10 as well. The 26 car is running in 10th, and that is Rahal Fry. She's in the number of the Audis. We haven't seen much of Rahal. She's a Swiss driver with Christoph Haas.
You know, Kekele is actually losing ground to Simon Knapp here. He's made up just a little bit, but this is a fantastic performance by BMW. I think it's probably got to be the run of the day. Not only qualifying well, but carrying it through the race. They actually said they couldn't believe where they had managed to place the car on the grid. Well, they better believe it, because it's actually stood at a big test here. Don't forget, it's only 4.4 litres. We say only, but there's much bigger power out there, and it's doing a great job for a podium position at the moment, if he can hang on with 10 to go. You know what, Mark? I really like this circuit.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's got everything, hasn't it?
Really superb, and it puts me in mind of some of the great runs that we've seen. I never really was that fond of it, but the redevelopment has just been superb, and I even quite like the rocking of the road. It adds something. Look at this.
Yeah, the track itself hasn't changed appreciably since about 1996, when they rebuilt the whole A1 ring as it was, had the Austrian Grand Prix there. But Red Bull, what they've done, it's all the infrastructure that's been changed. And just for a moment, I thought the Mercedes is going to have a look up the outside. You can't get around the outside at Ramus, but you can get a switchback if you get that right, cut back. And there we go. Yes, as we said, they're bidding for the 2014 Austrian Grand Prix, which, if it takes place, will be on July the 6th, which is a month earlier, of course, than racing here this weekend. But good weather throughout the summer here in Austria. It's been very hot, and there's a huge Austrian fan base for Formula One. So,
well, of course, and Red Bull have a great deal of talent with the great and the good within Formula One. By rights, of course, they are amazing supporters of the sport.
Exactly.
Yeah, they deserve it.
Dieter Matrix, who owns Red Bull, I mean, this is his brainchild, this circuit, and Dr. Helmut Marko, who's his competitions director, he's been here all weekend. He's looking at some of the young talent in the ADAC single-seater series that runs here, the ADAC Juniors, and he's talent spotting for future Red Bull drivers.
There we are. Well, you can imagine the squealers here from Formula One doing a fantastic job. Doing a great job right now is Simon Knapp, and just biding his time, by the looks of him, is Frank Kekele. Unfortunately, time is not a luxury on this track, and we've only got just over 7.5 minutes remaining. And there, that familiar view right now, looking back from Diego Alessi's number 2 Callaway Competition Corvette at what appears to be a charging Mercedes, but unfortunately it's a price too high. Cannot get by without getting very silly indeed. And great braking by the Mercedes, but just can't get the escape out of the corners. And this is a familiar sight where it just starts to go backwards. Oh, the 47 car.
It's the one and only Vita1 Racing Team car. This is Paul Green, German gentleman driver. So he spins out of the Gentleman's Trophy Chase. He was in 4th place in that.
You're not going to get a safety car, are you?
No, local yellows, I think. And looks like he's trying to back himself out of the inside of Schlossgold, which is where he's gone off.
Well, let's hope his talent with reverse gear is better, and that he does manage to extricate himself safely. 6 minutes and 40 seconds remaining.
So still a problem for Max Gotts is that Alessi, unless his Callaway Corvette is just so fast on the straights, he can hang on to him. He can just get that toe, but once the Corvette gets into the corners and gets out away again, he drops away, and he just cannot get there.
No, he can't, and it's a battle that's slowing the leading pair down just a little bit, and I'm not suggesting they're going to get into the clutches of the BMW. I think they're more than happy with third place, but this is
look how close we are now, riding on board with Simon.
Fantastic.
Yeah, he's having a grandstand view of the lead battle, and he's probably starting to think now, how can I get myself ahead of these two with just 6 minutes remaining?
He'll start flashing his lights for a moment just for a lap.
Yes.
just over 5 minutes to go then of what has been a fantastic weekend. It's been an absolute pleasure at the Red Bull Ring here, and it deserves all the success it gets. Great stage, and the players have been superb this weekend. And this quartet, just coming into the Camaro, let's not hope, well, maybe it'll be used as a foil, we'll see. In fact, I'm actually wondering whether they will in fact manage to catch it, because such are the speeds here. There we are. There is the big black brute that's been rumbling around. You can actually hear it. Fantastic. Yeah, the effects mark.
Prince Albert now on board. Great to see that car still running. It's had quite a baptism of fire this weekend. First outing. A lot of work by Hans Reiter of Reiter Engineering, the Lamborghini King, on this car, but is it going to hold them up? That's what we have to look out for now, at a critical part of the circuit. Doesn't it look wonderful, though? Lovely.
It's fantastic.
Lovely to see such a mix of cars.
Yeah, apparently they designed the lamps on the Terminator's eyes. Check it out and you'll see what I mean.
So it'll be back.
It will be back, absolutely. With just over 4 minutes to go.
Make the most
right now
of it.
It's backing up, and can this be used as a foil? They've caught him. Now they've got to get by him.
I'd use that as a publicity photo. Camaro leads the field, but
yeah, quick, take the picture.
But how long for? Here we go. Corvette against Camaro. There is no competition, and look at that. The Mercedes going around the outside of him as well. So too does Simon Knapp. In fact, good driving by Prince Albert. He just lets everybody through. That's not Prince Albert of Monaco, of course. This is Prince Albert von Thurn und Taxis.
Yeah, well, he's about as quick as a black cab at the moment, unfortunately, by comparison to these boys. Just over 4 minutes then, and once the clock is out, the line doth beckon, let's not forget. And right now, it really is a proper quartet. This is fantastic. Well, if there's any mistakes here by Max Gotts, as I say it, he pulls away. There we are, the power of the lead pairing. Stymieing my line. There we are.
1.2 seconds covering the top 4 cars now, and this is after what, 57 minutes of racing. That is just how close the GT Masters is. On the grid we had 14 cars covered by 1 second, and now it's down to 1 second covering the top 4 as they fight out the closing minutes of this race.
Terrific. Just over 3 minutes, as you said, Mark, remaining. I think the big loser here is the GT40. Dominic Schweiger started in that car and
on pole.
Just got it wrong. Yeah, unfortunately, leading the entire field. Should have been capable, if you look at the performance in race 1, of holding the position, but it just wasn't to be.
Yeah. See, Simon Knapp's exactly the same place he was a lap ago, at the same distance. He just cannot make up that distance as they climb that long hill. That's where little BMW is losing out. Just has not got the top speed of the 2 cars ahead of him.
Well, it looks like a show race at the moment. They're all so equally spaced. And there is that 14 car that was on pole and really should by rights have been contending the victory here today. But it's been a fantastic weekend for Corvette, and we look further down the order for the other battles raging on here. That's the 26 car, and this is engaged around about 10th place, or it was, back to the leaders.
Now, Simon Hank's got more to worry about than catching the car ahead. He's got the car behind he's got to worry about now, because he can't get any further up the field. He just cannot pass his 2. And as long as he's stuck there, what is this Ford GT going to do? Is it going to get past him in the closing minutes?
I have no idea. I don't know what the issue was with the GT40 at the beginning. Was it just tyres? Does it take a long time for them to come?
Well, no, we saw, didn't we? He was second going into Remus, and as they came down the hill, suddenly dropped back to about 5th. Wonder if he missed a gear or something. Difficult with a 6-speed sequential gearbox, but these things do happen.
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether it was a power delivery issue. Just spun the wheels. We've been hearing there's a lot of that going on at the beginning, and particularly locking up, although we haven't seen any plumes today, but the driver suggested that that's very much an issue. Track looks remarkably rubbered up, and you'd expect that.
No, this is perfect now. Temperatures are perfect. This is the penultimate time. We're going to be seeing them coming out of the Castrol and up the hill into Remus. This is going to be only one more chance after this for Kekler to pass Knapp, and indeed for Gotts to pass Diego Alessi.
we listen to the roar of the engine, and it belies the pictures that you're seeing on your screen. These cars so tremendously well matched. It's a surprise about the BMWs we've mentioned, but he's doing a fantastic job. But both of them have done, in fact. Jeroen de Boer and Simon Knapp. And with less than a minute now, we're going to have that final lap marker up, and it'll be the line that beckons, Mark.
Yeah, and this car's still looking for a win this year, of course, the BMW. They had one last year, as we mentioned, at Zandvoort, but nothing this year yet in this car. That the winning BMW has been the one of Hurtgen and Baumann, and they've had 2 wins in that black BMW. But this is going to be good for their championship points. I think Den Boer and Knapp will be probably moving up into 5th or 6th place after this race. The big losers, the other BMW of Hurtgen and Baumann, they came here as leading the championship. At the moment, if they finish like this, they'll have dropped down to 5th place.
Goodness me, that's a fall, and courtesy of that incident perhaps, but they haven't had the best of runs. So final lap is declared, only just made it.
Well, what a perfect race so far for Diego Alesi. Hang on, let's not say it too quickly. They won here yesterday afternoon. It looks like they could take the win this afternoon. But 4 cars here, covered by just over 1 second. And how close is this going to be as Maxi Götz puts everything into this last lap? He doesn't have to worry about tyres now. Just push, push, push.
And just look at the 14 car, the GT40. We look further back down the order. There's the Camaro, but he is perhaps going to be once again involved here and zigzagging all over the place. The 27 car of Meissen Rast, desperate to get past the number 8 Porsche, and can't quite make it.
This is the battle for 5th, and as you say, just cannot squeeze by. Into the sequence downhill, Roush and Vert for the last time, and into turn 6.
I think he's going to try and make it on the final turn here, Kekler, but he can't get close enough, I don't think. The BMW as well is hooked up in the turns. It's not the place you can actually get by, and he's failing to do it on the straights remarkably. And so I think they're going to hold station. There we go, over the last little sequence, and the lights are ablaze once again as Max Götz clings at, snatches at absolutely anything. And here we go, start-finish straight, Mark. And they're weaving all over the place.
Side by side, almost, as they cross it. It's a photo finish, almost, isn't it? 0.23 of a second. 23 hundredths of a second. And I'm just looking, that is the closest finish in the 7-year history of the ADAC GT Masters.
Well, there you are. Fantastic performance. The 2-car makes it. Phenomenal result for them. Great to see as well, and confirmation of the result, Mark.
So Corvette from Mercedes, BMW, Ford, Porsche and Audi. That's our top 6. All different marks. How impressive is that? Looking further down, René Bordeaux wins for the 4th time this year in the Gentleman's Championship. He goes into the lead of the Gentleman's Series once again. So let's just have a, hopefully we'll see the driver points before we have to leave, but it's Götz and Buch who go to the top of the tree with 102 points from Diego Alesi and Daniel Kulwitz with 101. Next race at the Lausitz Ring. Carlton,
very much looking forward to it. It's been terrific.
See you then, everyone.